Sir, I am as dejected today as I was on the day the finance minister presented the budget. The description of the problems is correct, but the proposed solutions are not acceptable to us. I do not agree with the concept that linking the Indian economy with the world economy will improve the situation. By world economy, we mean that the combined economy of the G7 nations. These nations taken together account for 12% of the world's population and 70% of the world production. How can we compare the economy of poor countries like India with the economics of those nations with the per capita income in India is rupees 4,000 and the per capita income in USA is rupees 5 lakhs, and in in the case of G7 it is between rupees 4 lakhs and rupees 5 lakhs. The needs of the Indian people are different from those of the people of America, Britain, and Japan. When we return from visits to foreign countries, we talk about the developments in those countries and want to know why such developments do not take place in India. We always try to adopt the latest trends in foreign countries, but this thinking is detrimental to national interest. Therefore, it is not possible for me to think the way the Honorable Minister of Finance thinks, nor do I agree to his views. Mr. Speaker, sir, I heard the speech delivered by the Honorable Minister of Finance. He reiterated the same point that had we failed to pay back the debt we have taken, we would have also been in the same condition in which countries of Latin America have fallen. I share the concern of the Honorable Minister about the Latin America, whose condition deteriorated because of their close link with international situations like IMF, World Bank, and other financial institutions and multinationals. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to tell the people of the country this stark reality that by getting this finance bill passed, the government is going to take the path which would lead to a dangerous situation and which will not a different situation from the situation of political slavery of the country passed through for a long time unless corrective measures are taken against the implementation of this bill, especially when the country is in a very bad shape. Mr. Speaker, sir, the ultimate goal of Swaraj movement was to instill national feelings in people and attain self-sufficiency. Gandhiji started that movement and many of the present honorable members of the House did not participate in that movement. At that time, they may be too old to participate in the movement. It might be possible that the students in schools were not taught the lofty ideals of our Swaraj movement in the country, and political leaders also do not bother to understand it. However, it is a fact that if we do not have national feelings and fail to achieve self-sufficiency, we would be in great difficulty. I know that the government will be able to get the bill passed in the House, but we cannot associate ourselves with the bill and the policies adopted by the government. After presentation of this bill, there has been steep rise in the prices, particularly in regard to fertilizers, and though it has been stated by the Honorable Minister as a regional issue, it has further deteriorated the financial condition of the farmers. Mr. Speaker, sir, in view of the present situation, I fear the policy adopted by the government and the budget would lead the country towards destruction. The Honorable Minister has not suggested the solution to these three issues the way he should have. When Mr. Jaffer allowed East India Company to do business in India, he did not visualize the political ramifications of it. He thought that it was just a trading company. A senior minister in the Indian cabinet had stated in America that the government of India would invite American investment, though ultimately he did not succeed in getting it done. But the policy the Honorable Minister of Finance proposes to implement seems to be very dangerous. I am more disappointed because such a great politician like Shri Advani also praised it. Would it be possible even for such capitalists as Tata and Birla, whom we accuse of imbalancing the Indian economy, to compete with Rockefeller and Ford? It is a sign of danger for our economy and also for the capitalist system. The industrialists who fail to understand the motive of this bill will have to repent and face the consequences afterwards. There are a number of banks in our country. The Honorable Minister of Finance has been the head of these banks. When nationalization policy was implemented, there were 14 banks. At present, various branches of banks are working in every area and the government have to bear heavy expenditure. Would it not be in the interest of the country that all the banks should be unified? Mr. Deputy Speaker, I am thankful to the honorable members opposite and also on this side of the house for participating in the debate on this very simple amending measure that I have put before the house. They have all supported the amending bill for increasing the time of takeover of sugar mills from 6 years to 7 years. At the same time, they have brought into focus the problems faced by the farmers, the workers, and the factories in general. This is a very simple measure. 6-year period elapsed in November last. We have taken over 8 mills in the year 1978-79, soon after the main act was passed by the parliament. The limited object of this amending bill is to gain more time to think how the factories that government has been managing for the last 6 years or so could be handed over to the owners, to the erstwhile management, whether cooperative or private, and the future of the workers and the cane growers could also be ensured simultaneously. At the same time, they could guard against, if possible, these mills going sick again. This act is a sort of deterrent against mills going sick by various methods. Some of them are fraudulent methods, I do not hesitate in saying, as several of my friends have pointed out. There is leakage of revenues, there is manipulation of accounts, and losses are shown in the balance sheets by methods which are not so desirable. At the time, some old mills run into genuine difficulties, and we do not want that the farmers of those areas who cannot immediately switch over from one pattern of cultivation to another should suffer. We try to help the industry as well as the farmers and workers through this measure. Honorable members from both sides have pointed out several difficulties. Sir, I admit that this temporary takeover is no remedy for bringing back these mills to permanent health. Ultimately, the government either has to think of nationalization or of putting pressure on the management to modernize these mills. The question of nationalization has been raised from time to time. Even today, some of my friends have suggested that we should resort to nationalization of sugar industry. One honorable member suggested setting up of a commission to evolve a long-term policy for sugar. All I can say at the moment is that a nationalization of sugar industry cannot be thought of in isolation from the policy as regards the other sectors of industries. We have to take one view, and we have opted for a mixed economy, public sector as well as private sector. And I am not in a position to say that nationalization, even if government thinks of it, will solve the problem, because we know that our experience with the public sector also is not very happy. Everybody will admit it. Therefore, we have to try and help the industry whenever possible. As regards sugar industry, we are giving preference to cooperatives. In the matter of licensing of new mills, they will be under the cooperatives as far as possible. If in an area where no cooperative societies are set up or no public sector factory comes up, but there is enough sugar cane there, then only we agree to new licenses to be given to the private sector. Now, honorable members will appreciate that the cooperative sector has done very well in the matter of sugar production. More than 50% of sugar production in our country comes from cooperatives.